$700 to rent a tiny sleeping pod in San Francisco, and the booming American economy. Today, I read an interesting article on Yahoo Finance, put out by MoneyWise, and written by Daniel Antaz, titled, Young Tech Professionals in San Francisco Turn to $700 Sleeping Pods to Beat Sky-High Rent. The author said the average rent in San Francisco has hit $4,000 a month, and some residents are turning to sleeping pods to cut costs. For $700 per month, you can rent a pod at Brownstone Share Housing. You get a twin bed, 2 fans, a mirror, and a curtain for privacy. This allows tech entrepreneurs to live affordably in San Francisco, where the cost of living is 70% higher than the national average. Here are my thoughts. When I first read this article, I immediately thought about my friend who once lived in a homeless shelter. What the author described is basically what he had at the homeless shelter. The only differences were that he had a twin bunk bed instead of his own twin bed. He also didn't get 2 fans. My heart goes out to these tech professionals who are trying to deal with the high rent costs in San Francisco. Here's my question though. If these are young tech entrepreneurs, they are probably sole proprietors and not bound by a company policy requiring them to be in a physical office. Why can't they run their entrepreneurial tech endeavors from somewhere less expensive? Can't they use video conferencing to communicate with people at a distance? In the world that we live in, I'm not sure why anyone has in-person meetings anymore. You can often accomplish so much more virtually. You can pull up documents on the screen in a virtual meeting, and you can more easily share ideas. This seems more efficient than showing up to a meeting and sitting around a table and passing out printouts. Maybe these tech entrepreneurs are pounding the pavement and knocking on doors and trying to forge relationships with other people. I could see a need to be in this expensive city if they are taking this boots-on-the-ground approach. I just worry about their quality of life while they are trying to launch their business endeavors. Now, I read some of the comments beneath this article. I'll share some of them with you. The first commenter said, so basically you are living in a hostel or homeless shelter. The next commenter said, these are still bigger than housing for the working class in Hong Kong, where people rent cages that are only big enough to lay down in. Not a joke. Another commenter said, do they have access to a kitchen? I didn't see that in the article. So you may be saving money on rent, but you have to eat out every meal. That isn't really saving money. I can see that this is good in theory, but it sounds awful to me. I'd rather live in a place with a lower cost of living so that I can have more space. The last comment that I'll share with you came from someone who said, the billionaires will be buying them up soon. Big real estate investors are buying up trailer parks and mobile home parks like crazy. They raise the rent so the poor can't afford to live in them, and then they paint them up and make them more livable, and that's where middle-class people are living now, and they can barely afford to get by themselves. We have a rental crisis, a drug crisis, an economic crisis, and wars in different countries. Also, China and Japan are more advanced than we are. The poor will always be forgotten, and that's why they are living on the streets, because of greedy corporations that take everything for themselves and leave the rest of us to fight for our own. Well, my friends, these commenters always have interesting things to say. What do you think about these sleeping pods in San Francisco? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. I read another interesting article today. This one was on Yahoo Finance, put out by The Guardian, and written by Jedediah Ade, titled, No Social Life, No Plans, No Savings. Americans aren't reaping the benefits of a booming U.S. economy. The author said, experts seem to agree the U.S. economy has been on the upswing in 2024, with a new wave of jobs, robust consumer spending, lower interest rates, falling inflation, and impressive levels of business investment. Okay, my friends, I'm going to stop here for a moment. I don't know who these experts are, but they must not be living in the real world. While there may be new jobs, I still read about layoffs each week, and these layoffs are often in the hundreds or thousands. In terms of robust consumer spending, I'm not seeing this either. I seem to hear about dollar-type stores that are struggling, fast food operators who are doing their best to lure customers back, and I keep hearing about restaurants and drugstore locations that are closing. I've reported about all of this in the past year. In terms of lower interest rates, the 50 basis point cut didn't do that much to help Americans who have various forms of debt, such as credit card debt or buy now, pay later loan debt. The current rate environment also makes it more difficult for people to purchase a new home or purchase a new car. With regard to the U.S. economy being on the upswing in 2024, the author said many Americans appear to feel very little of that. The author referenced a 62-year-old worker from North Carolina who said, "I'll never own a home." He also said, "A new car is unthinkable." The last thing he said was the economy is slowly making the rich richer and everyone else is sinking. I'll chime in about that last comment. The economy isn't slowly making the rich richer. This happened very quickly in the past few years. The divide between the super rich and everyone else has widened at a rapid pace. I personally don't see this slowing down anytime soon. Those with assets have benefited from inflation, and they likely always will. Now, I read some of the comments beneath this article. I'll share some of them with you. The first commenter said, "Western study of economics focuses on ways to grow the economy. They believe that a rising tide raises all boats. But if my boat is at rock bottom and it rises an inch, then it's an inch away from rock bottom. The majority of the gains go to the elites. The study of economics does not consider distribution of the gains. Only a handful of upstarts have been studying why so much of the gains go to those already at the top." The next commenter said, "For those who think prices are going to go back down to the levels of 4 years ago, you are going to be disappointed. It's never going to happen, no matter who is president. People thought gas prices were going to drop like a rock. Nope. Once those CEOs know you are paying those prices, they'll never go back." The next comment that I'd like to share with you came from someone who said, "Booming economy? Where? Wages haven't risen enough to cover inflation costs. Hiring is down. Spending is down. Prices are up. Housing is up. Energy is up. How is that Inflation Reduction Act working out for everyone?" Well, my friends, these commenters always have interesting things to say. What do you think about all this? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to the channel. I want to extend a special thanks to everyone who has subscribed to this channel. I want to also thank all of my channel members. If you would like to become a channel member, there is a link in the description beneath this video. You can read more about the different membership levels. Please also check out some of the great books that I suggest you consider reading in the description below. I've included Amazon affiliate links to these books. As an Amazon associate, I earn from qualifying purchases. Stay healthy and wealthy. I'll see everyone in the next video.